Imagine unlocking the key to revitalizing your health after 50, all with something as simple as consuming 2 cloves every day. Yes, you heard that right. As we age, turning to natural remedies can play a pivotal role in not just preserving, but significantly enhancing our well-being. Stay tuned as we explore how this tiny spice can make a big impact on your life after 50. Packed with powerful antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals, cloves are a powerhouse of nutrition. They contain eugenol, a compound renowned for its anti-inflammatory and antiseptic properties. Whether you're over 50 or just planning ahead, incorporating cloves into your diet can combat oxidative stress, support your immune system, and offer a plethora of health benefits. Improved digestion. Cloves are rich in essential oils, especially eugenol, which can improve digestion and relieve common digestive issues that occur with age. A 2021 study in the Journal of Medicinal Food found that eugenol helps stimulate the production of digestive enzymes, aiding in efficient digestion and nutrient absorption. This is particularly beneficial for older adults who may experience a decrease in digestive enzyme production. Anti-inflammatory properties. A 2022 review in the International Journal of Gastroenterology emphasized that cloves have anti-inflammatory properties that can help reduce inflammation in the gastrointestinal tract. This can alleviate issues like bloating, gas, and indigestion, potentially preventing the development of gastrointestinal disorders and promoting overall digestive health. Antimicrobial capabilities. Research published in the Journal of Ethnopharmacology in 2020 highlights cloves' antimicrobial properties, which can help maintain a healthy balance of gut flora. This is crucial for older adults as an imbalance in gut bacteria is linked to various diseases. Cloves inhibit harmful bacteria growth, promote beneficial bacteria, enhance health, and improve immune response. Adding cloves to the daily diet can naturally support digestive health in older adults. Whether used whole in cooking or as an extract, cloves are a versatile way to boost digestion and can be a valuable dietary supplement for gastrointestinal health in the aging population. Boosted immune system. Research has highlighted the immunomodulatory effects of cloves in enhancing immune function, particularly in aging populations. A 2021 study in the Journal of Immunology Research emphasized the role of active compounds like eugenol in boosting the immune system, crucial for individuals over 50. Aging leads to immunosenescence, a natural weakening of the immune system, increasing vulnerability to infections, diseases, and chronic conditions. The 2021 study emphasized that cloves are rich in antioxidants and have anti-inflammatory properties that can combat oxidative stress and inflammation, both of which contribute to immunosenescence. Cloves' antioxidant content can reduce oxidative stress, an imbalance between free radicals and antioxidants in the body. This imbalance can cause cellular damage and is associated with aging, neurodegenerative diseases, and cognitive decline. By fighting oxidative stress, cloves' antioxidants may protect the brain from damage, potentially preserving memory and cognitive functions. Cloves rejuvenate the immune system by boosting white blood cell production and providing antimicrobial protection against bacteria, viruses, and fungi. This dual action enhances the body's ability to fight off pathogens, making cloves a powerful ally for maintaining health and preventing illness, especially in older adults. Incorporating cloves into the diet can activate immune pathways, reducing the occurrence of common illnesses, speeding up recovery times, and potentially lowering the risk of chronic diseases for individuals over 50. According to the Journal of Immunology Research, adding cloves to your daily diet can help boost immune function in aging individuals. Cloves can be consumed with meals, added to drinks, or taken as a supplement to support immune health and overall well-being for people over 50. Please subscribe to the channel, and click on the bell so as not to miss new informative videos. Chronic disease prevention. In an age where chronic diseases like heart disease, arthritis, and diabetes are common, especially in those aged 50 and above, there is renewed interest in traditional spices such as cloves for natural preventive measures. A recent study in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition and Dietetics in 2021 highlights the significant potential of cloves in preventing and managing these common chronic conditions. Cloves, with their high levels of antioxidants and anti-inflammatory and anti-diabetic properties, provide a comprehensive approach to preventing chronic diseases. The study emphasizes that eugenol, a compound in cloves, plays a crucial role in improving cardiovascular health by reducing oxidative stress and inflammation, both of which are linked to heart disease. Cloves are considered heart healthy due to their ability to enhance lipid profiles, lowering LDL cholesterol and raising HDL cholesterol levels. The study also highlights cloves' anti-inflammatory properties in managing arthritis by reducing inflammation and pain. Cloves inhibit the production of pro-inflammatory cytokines and enzymes, offering relief with fewer side effects compared to conventional medications. Additionally, the study explores cloves' potential in regulating blood sugar levels, making them promising for individuals with diabetes. Cloves improve insulin activity and sensitivity, aiding in diabetes management. They help regulate blood glucose levels, preventing type 2 diabetes. The Journal of Clinical Nutrition and Dietetics in 2020, one recommends adding cloves to one's diet to prevent or manage chronic diseases, promoting overall health and combating heart diseases, arthritis, and diabetes naturally. As we work to prevent and manage chronic diseases, research confirms the health benefits of cloves. Adding cloves to your daily diet, especially for those over 50, can lead to a healthier and more vibrant life. If you found this video helpful, please consider subscribing to show your support. It lets us know we're reaching an audience and providing valuable content. Now, let's move on to point 4. Oral health. As we get older, it's important to prioritize oral health due to common issues like gum diseases, tooth decay, and oral infections. Cloves are a natural remedy known for their unique flavor and strong oral health benefits. Cloves are effective in dental care for seniors due to their strong antibacterial and anti-inflammatory properties. Eugenol, found in cloves, is well known for its anesthetic and antiseptic properties, making it a long-standing remedy in traditional dental care. This natural compound provides quick pain relief, reduces inflammation, and combats oral pathogens that may cause infections and diseases. Research in the Journal of Dentistry in 2020, one shows that clove oil can effectively reduce oral pathogens, making it a potential natural alternative to chemical mouthwashes. Cloves also have antioxidant properties that help combat oxidative stress, which can accelerate oral aging and tissue deterioration. By neutralizing free radicals, cloves help maintain healthy gums and oral tissues, preventing periodontal diseases that are more common in older people. Cloves are a safe and effective way to manage tooth and gum pain without the potential side effects of over-the-counter medications. Simply applying clove oil or chewing on a whole clove can provide significant pain relief and reduce inflammation, making it a valuable addition to oral care. Using cloves in daily oral care, such as adding clove oil to water for rinsing or using toothpaste and mouthwash with clove extracts, can improve oral hygiene and overall oral health over time. Recent research published in the Journal of Dentistry highlights the importance of using cloves for oral health, especially in older adults. Incorporating cloves into our oral care routine can be a straightforward and holistic approach to addressing dental problems and maintaining overall health and vitality. Adding cloves to your diet can improve digestion, boost immunity, prevent diseases, and maintain oral health. Consuming 2 cloves daily can be highly beneficial, especially for individuals over 50. Here's how to easily incorporate this powerful spice into your daily routine to maximize its benefits through regular use. Clove tea. Enjoy the therapeutic benefits of cloves by making clove tea. Just steep a few whole cloves in boiling water for 5 to 10 minutes to extract essential oils and beneficial compounds. The soothing beverage aids digestion and oral health, providing relief for bloating, indigestion, and sore gums. Infused in meals. Adding cloves to your meals can enhance flavor and provide health benefits. Ground cloves can be used in spice mixes, soups, stews, and marinades for a rich flavor. For a milder taste, insert whole cloves into meats before roasting or add them to rice and grains while cooking. This allows you to incorporate the antioxidants and anti-inflammatory properties of cloves into your daily diet, helping to combat inflammation and oxidative stress. Clove supplements. Clove supplements in capsule form offer a convenient and consistent way to consume the beneficial compounds daily. Before starting any supplement regimen, especially if you have health conditions or are on medications, it's important to consult a healthcare provider. Consistency is key in reaping the full benefits of cloves. Consuming cloves regularly can improve digestion, boost immune function, prevent chronic diseases, and enhance oral health over time. After turning 50, include cloves in your lifestyle for overall health and well-being. Embracing a holistic approach, incorporating cloves into your diet can be a simple and effective way to enhance your wellness. By incorporating cloves into your daily diet through teas, meals, or supplements, you can easily make this powerful spice a regular part of your routine. Cloves provide a versatile and natural way to support your health, particularly during your senior years. Safety precautions for clove consumption. Despite the numerous health benefits cloves offer, it is important for individuals over 50 who may have health issues or take medications to be cautious when consuming them. Potential side effects and medication interactions should be considered to ensure safe and effective use. Cloves are safe in moderate amounts, but excessive intake can cause liver damage, bleeding disorders, or allergic reactions. Cloves may also interact with medications like anticoagulants, antiplatelet drugs, or liver metabolized medications, affecting their effectiveness. We hope you found this video informative and helpful. I recommend watch these videos and don't forget to subscribe to the channel.